Number 17 on my fantasy playlist. Nice to hear this song again. I forgot 45, although this was a pretty huge record. Bryan Adams, Can't Stop This Thing. We started at number 17, up 3 notches from number 20 previous week. Fantasy playlist, October 12th, 1991. This is a rocker, relatively speaking, for Bryan Adams, continuing his chart success into the early 90s. And this album was called Waking Up the Neighbors, the name of the album, produced by Bryan Adams and Robert John Mutt Lange. It's Lang or Lange. I'm just going to pronounce it as Lange. Robert John Mutt Lange. Oh, Robert John Mutt Lange, the guy is a producer and a half. Back in the day, For Those About to Rock, We Salute You by AC/DC, Highway to Hell by AC/DC, Pyromania by Def Leppard, and Hysteria by Def Leppard. The hard rock classics, produced by Robert John Mutt Lange. He produced it. He also produced Shania Twain's album. It was called Come On Over, which featured, remember the song Man, I Feel Like a Woman? And also, oh gosh, what was that other song that she did? You're Still the One. That was a real big hit off that album. He produced it. Robert Lange produced that album. The guy was just all over the place back in the day. He produced an album for Nickelback back in 2008, although I don't know if he's doing a lot of producing these days, but hey, he could rest on his laurels. He's produced a lot of great albums, including this one, Waking Up the Neighbors by Bryan Adams. The song, Can't Stop This Thing We Started, was a follow-up to Everything I Do. Everything I Do was a monster hit for Bryan Adams. #1 for about 6 or 7 weeks here in America. And according to Wikipedia, I got to double check on this. It was #1 in England for 17 weeks, if I got that correctly. But now I read somewhere else it was #1 in England for 7 or 8 weeks. Well, bottom line was this song was a huge hit in America, England, and in Canada. And Can't Stop This Thing We Started went to #2. It was kept out of the #1 spot by Cream. Well, let me rephrase that. It was kept out of the #1 spot by Prince with his hit record, one of his hit records called Cream. Cream at #1, Bryan Adams right behind him at #2. Can't Stop This Thing We Started. He's at number 17 on my fantasy playlist of October 12th, 1991.